What if I told you that motivation is overrated? That the real key to success isn't about feeling motivated at all, but about something much simpler, something that anyone can develop: discipline. I've always taken pride in the discipline I've developed in certain aspects of my life. Monday to Saturday, I get up at 4 a.m. Not because I love being up at 4 a.m, but because it's the time that makes the most amount of sense for me to get the work done that fits my current schedule. Most mornings, the alarm goes off and I'm ripped out of a deep sleep. I roll onto my back and I have a minute where it can go either way. My eyes are so heavy, I can't keep both open. So I alternate, opening one eye at a time. Because if I don't keep one eye open, it's game over. I'm back asleep. This happens most mornings. It's a battle that I need to overcome in the first few moments after waking up. But here's the thing, I've never given in. Even when every fiber of my body is screaming, go back to bed. It's too cold out. Just another 5 minutes. Every objection under the sun comes at me. But on cue, I roll over, hang my legs off the side of the bed, and away we go. I don't do it because I feel inspired to sit at my laptop and start creating. I do it because I don't give myself the option not to. As Mike Tyson put it, discipline is doing something you hate, but doing it like you love it. That's the power of discipline. Now, I know that you know what I'm talking about. We've all been there. Excited to start a new project, maybe it's learning an instrument, a side hustle, or just getting absolutely shredded for summer. The first few days, you're pumped. You say you're gonna go all in, you go ham for about a week or two, then the excitement wears off. And that's when discipline either steps in or the dream fades. You might wonder, what's the secret to staying disciplined even when motivation fades? How do you keep going when the initial fire burns out? Well, it's not about being superhuman. It's about understanding one simple truth. And that simple truth is smashing that like and subscribe button. Yes, that's right. That is the secret to success. Surprised? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm really not though. The one simple truth is discipline is a habit, not a feeling. So if motivation is just a fleeting feeling and discipline is a habit that sustains us, how do we actually build this discipline? Most people are on the hunt for motivation. They wait until they feel like doing something, only to wait so long that they eventually just fall out of love with the idea altogether. The truth is, motivation might get you started, but it's ferocity, a disciplined, unwavering commitment that keeps you going. The problem is, we often seek those short bursts of motivation, only to let it all fall to the wayside when the initial excitement fades off. How often have you said, I just have no motivation to do this, or I just don't feel inspired to do the thing? We convince ourselves that the secret to success lies in this magical burst of energy. But here's the issue. Successful individuals don't rely on motivation. They don't wait around for inspiration to strike. They get up and get it done. Take Kobe Bryant, for example. Known for his Mamba mentality, Kobe didn't wait around for motivation to strike. He woke up at 4 a.m. every day to train, rain, hail, or shine, tired or not. His success wasn't about feeling motivated. It was about relentless discipline. And as he put it, I can't relate to lazy people. We don't speak the same language. I don't understand you, and I don't want to understand you. And then there's Pablo Picasso, one of the most influential artists of all time. Picasso didn't just wait for the muse to strike. He believed that inspiration would find him while he was working. His discipline in creating every day, regardless of how inspired he felt, is what led to his extraordinary body of work. Inspiration exists, he said, but it has to find you working. Robert Greene, the author of Mastery, says the exact same thing. He points out that creativity emerges at high levels of mastery, enabling innovative thinking and effortless execution. He says mastery doesn't come from waiting for the right moment. It's achieved through time, dedication, and the willingness to endure dull, monotonous challenges that come with disciplined practice. True self-esteem and confidence are cultivated through mastering a discipline, not through chasing fleeting passions. It's not about finding your passion, Greene says. It's about committing to the process, even when it's tedious and challenging. So many people fall into the trap of thinking that motivation is the key to success. They start strong, pouring all of their energy into the first few days or weeks, only to burn out and lose interest when the excitement wears off. This happens because they're not approaching their goals with discipline. They're relying on a fleeting feeling instead of building a consistent routine. Waiting for motivation creates a cycle of starting strong, fumbling, and then feeling guilty for not following through. This inconsistency not only stomps down progress, but also chips away at your self-confidence, making it harder to commit next time. You start believing that maybe you're just not cut out for it, or that success is reserved for those who are naturally motivated. Or worse, your identity changes and you start seeing yourself as the person who's okay skipping the thing. On social media, we're bombarded with images of people at their peak, lifting heavy weights, finishing marathons, or launching successful businesses. What we don't see is the disciplined grind that got them there. The early mornings, the late nights, and the countless times they showed up without feeling motivated. We've all bought into the myth that motivation is the secret sauce to success. But here's the harsh truth. Motivation is fickle, unreliable, and it often comes too late. What if you followed the example of people like Kobe, Picasso, and the principles of Robert Greene? What if you could build a disciplined approach that ensures progress even when motivation is nowhere to be found? Imagine a life where you don't have to wait for the right moment to strike because you're already moving forward every single day. When you build discipline, you create a reliable foundation that doesn't waver with your mood or energy levels. You don't have to wait for the right moment to strike. You create the right moment every day through consistent action. One of the most powerful advantages of discipline is its ability to sustain progress over time. You don't need to make giant leaps every day. Instead, it's the small, consistent actions, like writing a page, practicing a skill, or just hitting the gym. All of this compounds over time, leading to massive achievements. Discipline transforms these small actions into habits that are automatic, making it easier to move forward even when motivation is nowhere to be found. With discipline, you create a foundation for consistent progress. It's through repeated, deliberate practice that you build the neural pathways necessary for true skill development. Skill builds through time and repetition. I'm sure we've all heard of the concept of it taking 10,000 hours to become a master at something, made popular by the books like Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. While that specific 10,000 hour time frame might be debated, the underlying principle remains that prolonged engagement with a skill leads to a complex network of pathways in the brain, allowing higher levels of performance and innovative thinking. And to top it all off, discipline builds confidence. When you rely on discipline, you start to trust yourself more. You know you can count on yourself to get the job done, no matter how you feel. And look, if you're not convinced yet and you still think, nah, I'm all good with sticking to motivation, let me leave you with this. Relying on motivation leads to inconsistency. One day, you're all in, and the next, you're struggling to even start. This stop and start approach not only slows your progress, but also drains your energy and enthusiasm. It's like spinning your wheels without ever gaining any traction. What if instead of chasing the high of motivation, you built a disciplined approach that ensures progress, even when you're not feeling particularly inspired? By this point, I've said the word discipline 66 times. Yep, you can go back and check, which I hope paints a picture of how I feel about motivation versus discipline. And if you're still here, I think you might be wondering, this is all great, but what am I meant to do about the love for my motivation? Well, let's talk about how you can apply this to your own life in a way that's actionable, sustainable, and even a bit challenging. This is where we turn development of discipline into something tangible and measurable. First, let's remember what Robert Greene says about skill development. It takes time, it takes repetition to build those pathways. This principle is foundation to the challenge I'm about to propose. The goal here is to build those neural pathways, to make discipline a natural part of your routine, so that eventually it doesn't feel like effort, it just feels like you. And that's where the peak performance method, the PPP method, comes in. A step-by-step process designed to help you not only build discipline, but also align with your deepest motivations, master your craft, and push beyond your current limits. Step 1, align with your intrinsic motivation. Before you dive into any challenge, it's crucial to tap into what truly drives you. This is about finding your why. Start by identifying what genuinely excites you, your curiosities, passions, and interests. Then align these with your broader life goals. When your actions are fueled by intrinsic motivation, discipline becomes less of a chore and more of a natural extension of your passion. Step 2, set high, hard, and clear goals. Now that you're aligned with your motivation, it's time to set your sights high. Choose a high, hard goal. Something ambitious that stretches you beyond your current capabilities. But don't stop there. Break that big goal down into smaller, clear, and actionable steps. This way, you're not just aiming at the stars, you're building a ladder to get there. I personally found the best way for me to complete steps 1 and 2 is by journaling. I go deep into how I journal in this video here. Step 3, create daily habits to trigger flow. Daily habits are the building blocks for discipline, but to reach peak performance, you need to enter a state of flow. A place where you're fully immersed and highly productive. Here's how to set up your day to make flow a regular part of your routine. 1, optimize your environment. Your workplace should be a place where distractions are minimized and focus is enhanced. A clean, organized environment helps clear mental clutter, while tools like website blockers or dedicated work apps can help you stay on task. Develop a simple pre-work ritual, like making a coffee or doing a quick stretch to signal to your brain that it's time to focus. For me, It's making a coffee in the morning, gets me right into flow. Step 2, balance, challenge, and skill. Flow happens when you're working on tasks that are challenging enough to engage you, but not so difficult that they become overwhelming. Start by assessing your current skill level and set goals that push you just slightly beyond your comfort zone. This keeps you motivated and prevents boredom, ensuring that each session is productive. I really want to stress this point as well. I've actually been learning how to play bass guitar, and as a complete novice, I was finding flow in practicing the most basic bass lines. I made the mistake recently of thinking, you know what, I think I'm good enough to go a little bit more free flow here and just see if I can play to my own songs. So I pushed myself by creating a bass line for an instrumental beat that I had cooked up. But within seconds, I quickly realized that I was nowhere near skilled enough. Instead of falling into flow, I just became super pissed off at myself for sucking, and I regressed, and I just wanted to put the bass down and not touch it anymore. It's a fine line. Progress needs to be made in small incremental gains. Step 3, establish a consistent routine. Consistency is key. Dedicate specific times each day to your most important work, making these sessions non-negotiable. Whether it's an hour in the morning or a block of time in the afternoon, creating a routine helps reduce decision fatigue and makes discipline a habit. Start with manageable time blocks and gradually increase them as you build your focus and endurance. For me, this is 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. Monday to Saturday. When everyone's still asleep, I'm working in the dead silence of the early morning, and I love it. Step 4, end on a high note. Just as you start with a ritual, it's important to close your work sessions positively. Take a moment to reflect on what you've achieved and celebrate wins. This creates a positive feedback loop that makes it easy to start next session with energy and focus. Step 4, prioritize recovery, reflection, and overcoming resistance. Discipline isn't just about grinding endlessly. It's about maintaining a sustainable pace. You need to incorporate regular recovery into your routine, both physical and mental. Reflect weekly on your progress. What's working, what's not, and what do I need to adjust? And probably one of the most important things you need to do is you really need to recognize and confront the internal resistance that holds you back, whether it's procrastination, fear, or self-doubt. You need to face and overcome these barriers because it's key to sustaining your discipline. I personally could be up to the AMs every single day, working away like a wild man. I could skip the gym, I could skip time with my family, not see friends at all. But I can guarantee you, the hustle would only last me for 6 months, tops, before I'm completely burnt out. I've been sustaining a solid output for years because of making sure recovery is a key focus for me. Step 5, adopt a mastery mindset. True discipline isn't just about sticking to a routine. It's about committing to lifelong learning, continuous growth, and the relentless pursuit of mastery. There's 2 points I want to touch on specifically for this step and how you can cultivate a mindset that drives you towards excellence in everything you do. Point 1, embrace lifelong learning. Mastery requires a commitment to continuous improvement. Make it a habit to regularly seek out new knowledge and skills through reading, online courses and workshops, or even mentorship. The only caveat here is don't just simply read. Just reading more doesn't necessarily mean you're expanding your knowledge. I'm a massive sucker for this. I've read a ton of books, but in all honesty, I think I've retained about 5% max of what I've read of them. I fell into the trap of feeling like I was regressing if I wasn't constantly moving forward with another book. The truth is that more doesn't mean better. So I've made it a goal to focus on 3 to 5 key life-changing books that I'm going to reread over and over until I know them inside out. This ensures that I'm actually absorbing and applying what I learned rather than just consuming information. As one of my favorites out there, Naval Ravikant, has wisely said, if knowledge is power, then wisdom is applying that knowledge. Reading a book is one thing, understanding it is another. True understanding comes from deep, repeated engagement with the material, allowing you to fully integrate it into your life. Point 2, seek feedback and reflect. A key part of the mastery mindset is the willingness to receive feedback and to reflect on your progress. Regularly seek constructive criticism from peers, mentors, or even through objectively assessing yourself. Use this feedback to identify areas for improvement and to adjust your strategies. Reflection helps you internalize lessons learned and refine your approach, ensuring continuous growth. Step 6, the 30-day discipline challenge. Finally, let's put it all into action. For the next 30 days, choose one area of your life where you want to build more discipline. Set a specific, meaningful daily goal, track your progress, and at the end of the 30 days, reflect on how far you've come. This challenge is your starting point, your launch pad for developing the discipline that will carry you towards mastery. I hope this video has given you a fresh perspective on discipline. Look, I'm not perfect, and I still find myself saying, God, I just don't feel like doing it. I have no motivation for this thing all the time. But with the knowledge I've gained over the years, which helped me put together the peak performance method, shifting my mindset to get things done versus waiting around for motivation has become a whole lot easier. And as always, if you found value in this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps me to get the message out to more people and allows me to keep creating content for you legends. Thank you for watching and keep pushing forward.